Hey Siri, which is better, Apple Music or Spotify?
That one. No, wait, that one. Oh, I can't decide.
So who is the winner? Apple Music or Spotify? The winner is once you choose a streaming service, you're probably stuck with it for a very long time. And after years pass by, if you change your mind and switch to another service, you will lose your entire collection of music and your playlist that you've gathered over for years. And I've learned that from experience. Speaking of experience, this video is going to be based around my current experience with Apple Music and Spotify as an iPhone user. But I've also asked few of my friends who are on Android for their experience and opinion as well. So let's begin. Apple Music versus Spotify. To decide which is the best out of these two, we need to look at 7 things: song collection, sound quality, compatibility, price, user interface, user experience, and exclusives. If you want to skip ahead to one of these sections, I've also added timestamps to each of this section in the description box below. Spotify has a collection of 50 million songs and Apple Music has 60 million. To put it simply, if you're not an audiophile and if you haven't invested tons of money into headphones and nice quality preamps, both of them will sound the exact same to you. I use these amazing pair of earphones to listen to music every day, and I do not find difference in the quality between these two platforms. By the way, a review on these earphones is coming really soon, so make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified. Though Apple Music streams at a lower bitrate of 256 kilobits per second compared to Spotify's 320 kilobits per second, Apple Music has a step ahead because of its mastered for iTunes feature, which means all the songs on Apple Music are mastered and exported at 96 kilohertz, while Spotify uses a much lower 44.1 kilohertz. Contrary to popular belief, Apple Music is not only available on all Apple devices including CarPlay, but it is also available on all Android devices and also Amazon Alexa. While that's pretty good for Apple Music, Spotify is pretty much everywhere, from your Android watch to your PlayStation and even to your Tesla. It works on all devices: iOS, Android, macOS, and even gaming consoles for that matter. I have Spotify running on my PlayStation, and yes, Spotify is also available on the Apple Watch. Apple Music has a 3 months free trial, while Spotify, despite giving a 1 month free trial for its premium plan, also has a free plan with ads. Once the trial ends, the monthly subscription fee for both of these platforms is exactly the same in the United States. Both the platforms charge around $5 for a student plan and $10 for an individual plan and $15 for a family plan. Spotify has an additional plan called Duo that allows access to 2 accounts. However, in India, Spotify charges a bit more than Apple Music. Where Apple Music charges 49 rupees for a monthly student plan, Spotify charges 59 rupees. A monthly individual plan costs 99 rupees for Apple Music and 119 rupees for Spotify. A monthly family plan, which allows 6 accounts, costs about 149 rupees on Apple Music, whereas Spotify charges about 179 rupees. Spotify in India also has smaller plans, such as a daily plan for 13 rupees or a weekly plan for 39 rupees. Apple Music and Spotify both have an yearly plan which cost 1000 rupees and 1189 rupees respectively. All the paid plans in Spotify lets the users download the songs and play them without needing to connect to the internet. And the paid plan also removes all ads that are present in the free version. Since Apple Music doesn't have a free plan, any plan that you get includes offline and ad-free playback by default. When it comes to user interface and design, it's a matter of personal preference, but there are a couple of things that can be mentioned, such as Spotify is always dark with green accents, while Apple Music has both light and dark mode with reddish pink accents. Both are very easy and intuitive to use. For the most part, both are pretty similar in the sense that both have a tab for library, search, and discovering music. There are 6 aspects to having a good user experience on any music streaming platform: library, discover, search, player, social, and settings. Library is where Apple Music shines. Spotify doesn't even come close to the way Apple Music organizes its library. Tap on the library tab and you'll be greeted with a list of options to browse through the music that you have in your library. Every song that you add to the library is automatically organized by its respective artist, album, and genre. You can also tap on edit and choose which options you want to see and in which order. Apple Music also has a tab to browse through your music by genre. You can listen to just a specific genre of music that you have in your library. If you open a playlist, Apple Music will show you the list of artists the playlist contains down below. There is also a section for downloaded music. You can tap on this and here you'll only find songs that are already downloaded and ready for playback. With Spotify, you have to go to settings, playback and switch on offline mode. Even then, it's a complete mess as songs that are downloaded and that are not downloaded are viewed together. Apple Music can also show you all your songs in one place. You can also go ahead and sort them the way you want to. When you open an album, Apple Music has stars beside the songs indicating the most popular tracks in that particular album. On the other hand, Spotify's library is mediocre at best. There's absolutely no way to navigate through the library by genres or even by songs, and there is no section that shows you just the music that you've downloaded, whereas Apple Music has tons of flexibility on how you can browse through the downloaded music section. Discover. Spotify dominates discovering music by a huge margin. Spotify, in a broad sense, gives you two ways to discover new music. The first one being the homepage. Here, you are shown a long list of content that Spotify thinks you'd probably like. You can scroll down to find your daily mix and your Discover Weekly. Daily mix is basically a personalized playlist that Spotify creates based on your preferences. These include the music that you've already added to your library and also new music that Spotify thinks you'd like. Discovery Weekly is a personalized playlist that is updated every Monday and is made up of completely new music that Spotify thinks you'd like. Some people pick Spotify over every other streaming platform just for this feature. Then there's a search tab. Here you'll be shown your most listened to genres on the top. Then down below you have a lot of options, but the made for you section is where the magic happens. Tap on it and you'll find your most repeated songs and also your top songs for last year. Then you have daily mixes, all 6 of them just like we've seen earlier. Then you have Discover Weekly all the way at the bottom. Apple Music also has 2 ways to discover new music. The For You tab is similar to Spotify's Home tab. Right here on the top, you'll find playlists that are updated weekly. The first one is New Music Mix, which is refreshed every Friday and is similar to Spotify's Discover Weekly. Then you have Favorites Mix that refreshes every Tuesday. Then you have Get Up Mix, which is updated every Monday, and a Chill Mix that is updated every Sunday. I was a Spotify user until 6 months ago, and to my surprise, though these playlists are not as good as the Spotify ones, they are good enough that I don't miss Spotify. The second way to discover music is the Browse section. This is similar to the search page on Spotify. Here, you'll find all sorts of charts, recommendations, and lists that you'll ever need. Right on the top, you'll have playlists that are curated based on your taste. Scroll down and you'll find your daily top 100. There are a few things that I want to mention here. Spotify, for some reason, suggests me podcasts on my homepage, and I absolutely hate that. Whenever you add a song to the playlist, you'd expect to see the artist in the artist tab of your library, right? In Spotify, if you add tracks to your playlist, the artist or the album do not show up in their respective tabs. You have to go to the artist's page and tap on follow, and I find this really frustrating. Let's say Spotify's algorithm does its magic and you find a song that you really love. Spotify for some reason decided that you cannot download that one single song by itself. Instead, you'll need to download the whole album or the whole playlist. There is an alternative, which is you can tap on the like button beside the title and this will be added to your like song. Then you can go into the like songs and turn on download always. Spotify will frequently keep a check on this playlist and keep downloading whenever you add a new song. On Apple Music, if you want to add a song to your library, you just add the song. Or if you want to add the whole album, you can go right ahead and add the whole album. And whenever you add a song to your library, it automatically also adds its respective artist to the artist library. Apple Music for some reason doesn't allow you to add or follow an artist. Whenever you open an album, there's a star mark letting you know that this is a popular song in the album. Apple Music suggests you music based on which song you love and which song you ask Apple Music to suggest less of. Spotify lets its users follow the artist directly and also notifies about new music and concerts. Apple Music doesn't do anything similar to this. Spotify shows an artist's monthly listeners and also their rank, while Apple Music does not. And both have an artist's essential playlist, which is a list of all the best songs from an artist. Apple Music is better than Spotify when it comes to searching music from the search bar. You can search for songs, artists, albums, and playlists in both the platforms. But Apple Music has one extra trick trick up its sleeve that gives it a massive advantage. You can type in lyrics from any part of the song and Apple Music will automatically find the song for you. And yes, I do know that you can Google the lyrics, but having it right in the app is so much more convenient as I can directly add the song to the library right away. You can simply search for the lyrics and tap on add and you're good to go. Both apps have really good players. Both have transport controls at the bottom, a button to see what's playing next, options to shuffle, repeat, and change the volume. Both apps also have the option to view lyrics. Spotify doesn't provide lyrics to all the songs, whereas Apple Music has lyrics for almost all the songs I've ever listened to. One difference is that Apple Music allows you to fast forward while actually hearing the playback in the background. This is really handy when you need to find a particular section in a song. A huge advantage that Apple Music has is that you can tap on any sentence from the lyrics and skip to that part of the song. Spotify Connect allows you to change the playback to another device that is running Spotify instantly without any hiccup whatsoever. Spotify is way better than Apple when it comes to socializing. Collaborative playlists allow more than one person to not just listen but also modify, delete, and also add songs to a shared playlist. Spotify also has a better layout for finding and following friends compared to Apple Music. Apple Music has options to follow what your friends are listening to, but Spotify does the same in a better and much more elegant way. If you are on Android, both apps have settings built right into the app. But if you're on iOS, Spotify's settings are built into the app, unlike Apple Music's, where you have to go to the native settings app and then scroll down to music and you'll find your settings there. Both apps have an option for applying EQ presets, but Spotify has a much more powerful 6-band EQ. Spotify also has options to crossfade and remove silence between songs. It also has the option to automatically switch the playback quality to save data whenever you're using mobile data to stream music. Spotify also has a sleep timer built right into the app. Apple Music does not have anything similar built in, but I've made a Siri shortcut to set a sleep timer that is better than the one in Spotify. And I've also made a video on how you can do this on your iPhone too. So if you're on iOS, I highly suggest that you check this video out. Both apps have certain exclusives that they offer. Spotify has podcasts and has recently acquired the Joe Rogan podcast, whereas Apple Music has radio and has recently introduced talk shows with hosts like Lady Gaga and Snoop Dogg. Apple Music also has a massive collection of built-in music videos. And that's the end of our list. But there are a couple of things that I really suggest that you consider. One thing most people never consider while picking a music platform is how much a streaming platform pays the artist. This is called artist royalty or artist payout. And hear me out, guys. Apple Music pays 70% more than Spotify. In fact, out of all the popular streaming platforms internationally, Spotify pays artists the least. How much an artist makes massively depends on which platform you use to listen to them. The second thing I want you to consider is which OS you're on. If you're on iOS, just do yourself a favor and hop onto Apple Music. The pros far outweigh the cons. For instance, you can ask Siri to bring up a song that is playing in a cafe that you're in and directly add that song to your library without any hassle. You can search for songs, albums, artists directly from the homepage. You can also very easily share songs with your friends on iMessage. And yeah, also a quick thing to note is that if you own an Apple Watch, you can only download music directly to your watch using Apple Music. Spotify hasn't added support for that yet. So who is the winner? Apple Music or Spotify? The winner is... Well, I'm really sorry to say this, but it depends. If you're on an Android device, it's pretty much a level ground for you, as you do not have any extra perks of having Apple Music on your phone. So it basically comes down to this. If you value having personalized playlists and discovering music, then go with Spotify. If you value having a really good organized library and you care about supporting the artists that you listen to, then go with Apple Music. But if you are on an iOS device, the benefits of using Apple Music on an iPhone far outweigh anything that Spotify has to offer. But if all you care about is discovering new music daily and you want the best personalized playlists out there, go with Spotify. And if that is not the most important thing for you, I think Apple Music easily beats Spotify on iOS devices. I chose Apple Music and Spotify for this comparison as they both have the highest number of subscribers compared to any other platform. I was a Spotify user for almost 2 years. There are two things that finally convinced me to switch. The first one being Mastered for iTunes, which makes my library future proof. And second one being that Apple Music pays so much more to the artist compared to Spotify. And that is why I've switched to Apple Music about 6 months ago. Do I regret switching? Not really. I really miss collaborative playlists and Spotify Connect. Other than that, I'm really happy with Apple Music for now. And that's it guys. If you've liked the video and want more tech content like this, please subscribe. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask me in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Until next time.